Hello, callers. Welcome to another interesting episode of Viva Barca, where we discuss on some interesting and huge update for our favorite club. In this video, of course, we are going to discuss on the latest transfers. Firstly, we start with the Joao Cancelo and Joao Felix. A lot of talk about this too, and a huge twist. Barcelona, after announcing the departures, just yesterday we saw a crucial twist, and of course a recent report is claiming that Barcelona are gearing up for crucial negotiations with both Atletico Madrid and Manchester City for both players. We are going to be discussing more on that, so stay tuned. Then to conclude the video, we are going to talk about Nico Williams, of course, another player that we have been talking about for quite some time now in the transfer window, as Barca continue to eye him. Yamal, of course, one of the best Barca players right now, have seemingly urged Barcelona to sign the 58 million rated informed winger, of course, which will be a great idea, isn't it? So guys, as we get right into the stories, please, if you haven't subscribed, endeavor to hit that subscribe button. For those who are just coming, thank you so much, as we get right into it right now. According to transfer market expert Fabrizio Romano, Barcelona are set to embark on a crucial mission in July and August. Barca will engage in intense negotiations with both Atletico Madrid and Manchester City to secure the services of these two highly sought-after players, Joao Felix and Joao Cancelo. While the players themselves have expressed their willingness to join Barca, the club is taking a cautious approach, as negotiating with their teams could be tricky. It is said that Barcelona wants absolute clarity on the financial aspect of both deals, including the transfer fees and the salaries. And for what it is worth, the club's judgment is understandable, given the significant investment required to bring these talents on board. Of course, now let's talk about Barca's deleted message, which made social media, talking all the time. It must be noted that the situation took an interesting turn of events on June 30, which is yesterday, when Barca announced that Cancelo and Felix will not be continuing with the club beyond their loan agreements. However, this statement was swiftly retracted from the club's social media platforms, leaving fans and pundits alike wondering about their true intentions. Barcelona are not obligated to sign those players due to their loan status, but the club have been engaged in discussions with their shared agent, who is Jorge Mendes, of course, to explore that possibility of, retaining them for the next season. Okay, so the ball is now in the court of Atletico Madrid and Manchester City. Barcelona's negotiating team, led by Deco, will need to convince the respective clubs to agree to reasonable terms. If the demands from both Atletico, of course, and City are deemed excessive, Barcelona may have to be, they have to be forced to reassess their priorities and potentially walk away from the deals. However, it is important to note that Barcelona are not willing to give up without a fight. The club is determined to strengthen its squad and believes that Felix and Cancelo would be invaluable additions to the squad nonetheless. The next few weeks will therefore be so crucial in determining the outcome of these high-stakes negotiations. Will Barca succeed in landing the target, or will they need to explore alternative options? Only time will tell, because it's gonna be, I don't know, right now, it's hard to predict. Because when Barcelona officially announced that Cancelo and Felix are walking away of the club, and of course wishing them goodbye and stuff like that, in fact everybody knew it's over, and we all wish them luck. But for a club like Barcelona to come back just after 24 hours to make a U-turn on their announcement, deleted the messages and stuff like that, it's quite, for me, it's just quite funny. It's quite funny. Like, they aren't sure of what they want or what was the problem. But honestly, I will be so happy if Cancelo and Felix could stay, especially Felix. I mean, those are great additions. They were loan players from last season, and I think they added a lot to the team. And I definitely think that if the club can somewhat try their best to keep them, it's going to be great for Hansi Flick's team, because those are great talented players. They might have their downfall last season at some points, but come on, they were great players in the squad. So this report now is claiming that things are somewhat still difficult when it comes to negotiations with both Atletico and Man City, because at the end of the day, it all depends on how would the negotiations go through. Will City and Atletico accept to sell the players a little bit cheaper than what their market values are? Because if that is not the case, then definitely it's going to be quite tricky for Barcelona to get through with those deals, But at least if Barca can succeed in just one of those players, right, then it's going to be better. Because for me, like trying to go with a U-turn with your announcement, then at the end of the day, you still lose those players. Then at the end of the day, what was the essence of doing that? So I just hope that negotiations go well. It's quite a tricky moment. Fabrizio Romano, the transfer expert himself, have already said it officially that Barcelona are still negotiating with those teams, and they are hoping that the talks go on well with both Atletico and Man City, because honestly, those two players are not players that are even really needed at those clubs, right? Man City does not need Cancelo at any point. Pep Guardiola had his downfalls with him before he was even pushed to Barca, and the same with Joao Felix, had his own downfalls with Cholo, who we also called Diego Simeone, and they are not necessities to the club. And definitely, I don't see a reason why Atletico and City will be trying to get a high money from those players, because those players aren't even happy to go back to their respective or their parent clubs, by the way. So I think we just have to keep fingers crossed and see how the next few weeks will look like when it comes to negotiations for these two Portuguese superstars. Then moving on to the next story of discussion, according to Ivan San Antonio in Sport, Lamine Yamal is seemingly encouraging Barcelona to make a serious effort to sign Nico Williams this summer. It is no secret that Barca have been searching for a player to fill this position, and Nico is their top priority. However, the road ahead is paved with obstacles as usual, as Athletic Club are unwilling to budge for the player's release clause, a staggering 58 million euros. While Barca are eager to add Nico to their roster, their financial situation makes it even more difficult to meet Athletic Bilbao's demands. The report mentions that the club, of course, is currently seeking its fair play by over 100 million euros, making it a challenging task to secure the player's signature. Despite these hurdles, though, Barcelona remains still very optimistic, hoping that Yamal's friendship with Nico will be the key to unlocking the deal.